Every time you buy something at Costco, the company loses money on it. Not sometimes. Not on the loss leaders. On almost everything. Almost always by design. Walk the aisles and the prices look like mistakes. A rotisserie chicken for $4.99 that costs more than that to produce. Jeans priced at $22.99 that were $29.99 the week before, for no reason except that the buyers found a cheaper shipment and simply passed the savings on. A hot dog and a soda for $1.50, the exact same price it was in 1985. None of that is generosity. It is policy, and the policy has a hard number attached to it. Costco caps its markup at 14% on branded goods, and 15% on its own Kirkland signature line. Not as a goal. As a rule the company will not break, be written down and enforced regardless of what the market would bear. Here is the part that should stop you. A normal grocery store marks products up 20 to 25%, just to cover the lights, the staff, the marketing. Costco runs at roughly 11% on average. Across a business doing hundreds of billions of dollars a year, and somehow it is one of the most profitable retailers on earth. Something else is paying the bills. And once you see what it is, the whole store rearranges itself in front of you. It's the card in your wallet. You paid for that card before you walked in. $65 a year for standard membership. $130 if you upgraded to executive. It renewed automatically last year, and it will renew again next year. And the number that matters is not what you paid. It's how many other people paid for it too. In fiscal 2025, membership fees alone brought in $5.43 billion on paper. That is a small slice of Costco's $275 billion inches total revenue, barely 2%. If you stopped reading there, you'd think memberships were a rounding error. That is the mistake almost everyone makes. And it's the mistake the whole business model depends on you making. Because membership fees cost Costco almost nothing to collect. No cost of goods, no shipping, no shrinkage, no markdown. Once the warehouse and the staff already exist to run the store, an extra renewal is close to pure profit. Run the math properly, and membership income accounts for somewhere close to 2/3 of Costco's net operating income. 2/3. From a line item that's 2% of revenue. The chicken, the jeans, the electronics, the tires, all of that exists to get you to swipe the card in the first place, and then to make you feel stupid for ever considering not renewing it. Hold on to that number, 92%, because it explains everything that comes after it. That's roughly Costco's renewal rate in the US and Canada, year after year through inflation, through recessions, through membership fee hikes. Software companies would kill for that retention number, and that is not an accident of loyalty. It is engineered. If you found this one interesting, drop a like. Genuinely helps the channel more than you'd think. Think about what a 92% renewal rate actually requires. It requires that every single time you walk in, the prices feel like they're breaking some rule they shouldn't be able to break. Jim Sinegal, the man who built Costco, used to describe the temptation to nudge margins up as, in his words, like a drug you can't stop once you start. So the company built itself a structural handcuff. The 14/15% cap isn't a suggestion middle management can quietly ignore during a rough quarter. It's the whole business model, expressed as an arithmetic ceiling nobody inside the company is allowed to lift. And this is where it gets almost elegant. Because the low margin on merchandise isn't a cost, the membership fee has to cover. Despite itself, it is the marketing. Costco spends almost nothing on advertising. It doesn't need to. Every person who finds a $22.99 pair of jeans that should cost $50 becomes an unpaid billboard. Texting a photo to 3 friends, telling them the card pays for itself in one trip. The lower the margin, the louder the word of mouth, the higher the renewal rate, the more members paying that close to free $65. The thin margin isn't in spite of the membership model. It's feeding it. Now the caveat, because the honest version of this story has a second half that gets left out. Costco isn't purely a membership company, wearing a warehouse as a disguise. It's a scale company first, and the membership model only works because the scale exists to make thin margins survivable. Costco carries around 4,000 products, compared to the 30,000 plus typical supermarket stocks. Fewer SKUs means fewer suppliers to negotiate with, fewer decisions to manage, faster inventory turnover, more leverage per item. That's the part that actually lets the 11% average, margin be enough to run the operation without member fees having to cover the entire gap. The membership fee isn't propping up a business that would otherwise lose money. It's the extra layer on top of a genuinely efficient one. Kirkland's signature is where all of these compounds are. It's not a discount house brand bolted on for cheapness. It now represents close to a third of everything Costco sells, at margins the branded competitors can't touch, because Kirkland skips the marketing budget, the multiple label lines, the vendor financing games entirely. Costco pays suppliers in around 15 days, faster than almost anyone in retail, which functions like an interest-free loan, running in the company's favor at all times. Every piece of that machine the SKU count, the payment terms, the private label exists to keep the merchandise math survivable enough that the 14/15% cap never has to move. So here's the sequence, laid out plainly. You pay up front for the right to shop somewhere. That fee is nearly pure profit, and funds roughly 2/3 of the company's operating income. The products you then buy are priced to feel almost irresponsible, deliberately capped below what the market would tolerate, so that the story of the deal spreads for free. That word of mouth replaces an advertising budget most retailers spend billions on. The savings and the loyalty combine into an over 90% renewal rate that nobody in the industry can match. And underneath all of it sits a scale and supply chain operation efficient enough that the thin margins never actually bankrupt. The merchandise side. Every stage reinforces the one above it. Nobody in that chain loses, including you, which is precisely why almost no one questions the model, while they're standing inside it. You didn't walk into a store that sells you cheap jeans and hopes you buy more. You walked into a company that sold you a subscription at the door, and everything past the turnstile exists to make sure you renew it. If you want to see how another business hides its real profit engine behind the thing it looks like it sells, the video on how thrift stores actually make their money is a good one to watch next. See you in the next one.